So, Grand Rising Free Thinkers, this is the TD9 podcast, and I'm your host, Ted Davis. As usual, I got my boy Jay beside me, and today we got two guests in here that this will not be your only time hearing from. We got Chico from 86 Trees, the smoke shop over in North Lakeland, and we got my boy Xavier from Total Quality Distribution.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you guys here.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
No problem.
Most definitely. All right. So, before we get into what we came here for, I kind of just want to know, like, tell us about y'all journey. Like, what led y'all to the point to where we are right now?
I didn't want to work for nobody, man. They fired me from my job during COVID.
Right.
I already had started working on my business, so I was like, shit, we ain't ready to open.
Right.
But I'm paying rent on this spot already, you know. And I ain't got no job no more, so let's go.
Right.
Just open up. When I opened up my shop, I had 4 cases and 8 products.
Okay.
You see the pictures on?
Yes, I've seen the videos of that shit.
Yeah,
that
you see our pictures on Google and everything. When we first came, our journey from then to now, like I've done all this with no loans, no help, no bank help, no nothing, no money from mommy and daddy. I did all this with just money out of my pocket and what I had left over from hustling and saving and just scratching out a living, dog. And
right.
I did it. I opened up my shop with $5,000, less than $5,000, really. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
So. And I went and did everything, dog. I lived in the back of my store for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Rode a bicycle around, all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying?
The hustling
and
bishop.
had to do what I had to do. Within a year, I bought a fucking house. You know what I'm saying? Did everything I had to do. And I'm on track now to buy some more land, buy some more properties, just keep going.
Right.
You know, you got to start. If
right.
you don't start, you ain't never going to start. You know what I'm saying? You got to move.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you, like, with grinding not to where you are right now, and obviously you still got ambitions for the future, do you see yourself making your store like a franchise or anything?
I don't really want to do the franchise thing because nobody's going to care the way that you care.
Right.
And I took a lot of time to amass a lot of knowledge and really know what the products are. I know what this product's going to do to you, different from another product, different from another chemical. I know all the compounds. I really devoted myself to this industry and to this plant and to this culture.
Culturally invested is the right word.
And, it's just all paying off and it's all coming full circle. And I just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just keep going.
Okay. I definitely feel that. So what you were saying, you were talking about how you can tell the difference between what one product is going to do from the next product. How much time and energy, like how much studying and dedication have you actually put into this?
Countless days, hours. Every time you see me on the phone, you see me, people think I'm just scrolling on the phone, looking at Instagram, all this shit like that. No, I'm reading laws.
Right.
I'm looking up what's happening in my industry. I'm looking for new products.
Right.
I'm looking at new compounds. Because you go to some of these stores and they're like, buddy, this is good.
Right.
But what's in it? It's good.
Now,
THC. That's a famous phrase. THC.
Now, I feel you on that, right? Because I was just talking to someone just a couple of days ago, and we were watching a documentary called The Cannabis King, which y'all probably know is from probably like 8 or 9 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And this guy was literally traveling all around the world, Colombia, Afghanistan, and some more stuff, like out in the jungle looking for strain. Yeah, he was strain hunting. And the person that I watched this with said that they really think that that's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That people that be looking for particular strains, all it really is, according to them, is just different strength levels of it. But it all really does the same thing.
Well, it's different phenos. It's also like you got different phenos because I can grow 2 plants of Girl Scout cookies. Right. But you can have 2 different phenotypes. Okay. Because the environment is going to affect the plant different. Just like you can have 2 sets of twins. You can have a set of fraternal twins. Right. One might grow up to be a fucking athlete. The other might grow up to be a fucking drop shot. You know,
right. True, same DNA.
It's the same DNA. It's different. It's just different. Right. It's the phenotypes. That's basically how phenotypes work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You so for those of us that don't know, what is a phenotype?
Phenotype is basically like let's say you got Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
Now you have Girl Scout cookies number 2, Girl Scout cookies number 3. Those are your different phenos.
Okay.
And the phenos are it's the same plant, but it has different characteristics and traits.
Okay.
But it's the same plant.
Okay.
So let me elaborate a little bit more on where we're going with this too, because that documentary that you had seen was specifically dedicated to the marijuana industry.
Right.
Right. So this is where our industry comes as an alternative to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all the products you see up today and all the products that we have to offer are all hemp derived.
Okay.
So the similarities of industries are very, very high, but yet different because they're two different plants. But just the same documentary you saw of seeing all the different strains and finding it and searching it, we have the same way of doing it, but we find them in terpenes. Okay. So when you look up the structure of a Girl Scout cookies, there are certain things in that structure that you can emulate and simulate through terpenes on a hemp plant, because hemp in general is a hybrid. You're never gonna get these different strains. Me and Chico always talk about, you'll go to another shop. Right. Okay. Well, that's sativa.
It's naturally
so you go and you see all these names, but what's giving those names is the terpenes that's being sprayed on it. Right. So I just want to let you know, because all these questions that you're asking him, we can answer them. He could definitely answer them from a marijuana perspective. But remember, what we focus on is a hemp perspective.
Right.
And I think that's where, I'm not trying to get into a whole different topic. I'll let you lead us wherever you want to lead us. But, that's where the cultural investment comes in, and that's what differentiates us as shop owners and as distributors that are culturally invested versus the people that are not.
You got to know
right? You just got to know what you're doing. You got to know, as much as certain things like marijuana are illegal, it's still taboo.
Right.
Same thing with our industry.
Right.
So, maybe back in the day it was a little hard to talk about, in depth, all these conversations that you potentially, or us can talk about. We're a little bit more freer and open about it now because it's legal, it's taboo. But at the same time, if you weren't invested back in the day, it would be really hard to be invested now, because there's certain traits that translate.
Right.
That's a key word, it translates. So
we went from smoking flower to now dabbing, edibles.
Yeah.
It just evolves,
It evolves,
and
man.
as the game evolves, you have to evolve with it. If you stay stagnant, like I said, you go to a lot of shops, and I go into a lot of shops myself just to see what's going on. But I stopped because I got so pissed off, because I walk in, it's like, oh, I have THC. No, you don't. You got Delta 8.
Right.
Don't lie to the customer.
Okay. So what's the difference between THC and Delta 8?
Hemp derived THC is regular THC is Delta 9 THC. Let's start with that.
Okay.
That's cannabis derived.
Okay.
Now you can also get it hemp derived,
Correct.
but that's through synthesization.
Okay.
Okay. But you have Delta 8 THC, which is made from CBD from the hemp plant. Okay. That's legal underneath the Farm Bill. Whereas Delta 9 THC that is cannabis derived is illegal because it's Schedule 1 narcotic and it's federally illegal.
Right.
And you got the feds right now trying to turn all hemp cannabinoids into Schedule 1 narcotics. They're trying to get rid of they got rid of the THCO. They're trying to get rid of the THCV, THCP, Delta 8, Delta 9, hemp derived, and Delta 10s. They're trying to get rid of all that shit. And it's just fucked up, But the difference is that one's legal, one's not. That's the only difference.
Right.
But it's kind of like liquor to beer kind of thing.
Yep.
That's how I rationalize it. That's my analogy. Regular cannabis, that's like Jack Daniels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Take a shot of that.
You take a couple shots, you're done.
Right.
Whereas with the Delta 8, that's like a fucking, that's like a Budweiser. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or a fucking Yingling. You could drink a couple, 6 beers, you know what I'm saying, still be all right.
Right.
DA's like that.
Okay.
It doesn't have that paranoia. It doesn't push you to that edge. You know what I'm saying? It's like a high, but a different high.
All right.
It doesn't give that paranoia. It doesn't give any of that. That's why a lot of people like it too.
It's a lot lighter.
It's a lot lighter. It doesn't have those fucking hard side effects that regular Delta 9 can give you, like those panic attacks and all that shit.
Like HHC, which stands for hexahydrocannabinoid, is cannabinoid. we also use it as an aphrodisiac. It's more of a body high. Okay. So a lot of people will use that, but like, well, I don't like feeling the head high. Well, have you tried this?
Right.
There's a vape out there that actually is a aphrodisiac vape.
Really?
Yeah, it's a HHC derived aphrodisiac vape.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Hold on, voters, man, y'all better get to the booth, man. Contact y'all local representative. Don't let that go.
It's the DEA, man.
Yeah.
The DEA's doing that shit. It's nothing we're gonna be able to vote on.
Well, the bill, there was 2 bills that was trying to be passed about 3-4 months ago that definitely it caused an earthquake of an effect in our industry.
A big hiccup in the industry.
Right. Everybody. And basically, if I were to give you just a quick overview of the entire bill, the 2 bills, it was I like to compare it with him. It's like the Ukraine bill. Okay. 90% of it, 89% of it, it's for good intentions, right?
Right.
And then they slip one in there, and it's like,
we talk about
yo, what are you doing, man? You're screwing up the entire thing, you know? So it's like, it caused a real trickle effect and domino effect in the entire industry, from a supply chain, from a demand perspective, from an understanding perspective. So, and just to elaborate a little bit on that, or you can decide when you want to talk about that, but just quickly, everything was for regulation purposes,
right?
Which him and I were in agreement. And if he didn't agree, I was in agreement,
right? Because
a lot of things in this industry is still considered the Wild Wild West.
Right.
It's the facts. It's regulated, it's federally legal, but there isn't much attention on it so that people can make sure that things are done properly.
Well, why do you think that is?
Because it's a new industry. I mean, listen. When we talk about this all the time, man. We talk. I remember back in the day when I was in college, there was one head shop.
Right.
I graduated from Florida Gulf Coast University over there in Fort Myers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with over there, but there was one head shop. Mm-hmm. It was a tobacco shop, right? That's what we all knew it as. So when anybody wanted to get paper or a water pipe, it was for tobacco use, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wink, wink. And it was one. There was one. About 3-4 years ago, would you say? CBD came out, and it was like, okay. With that one regulation of it has to be under 0.3% Delta 9 THC, it gave the community a different alternative to something still illegal at that time, which was marijuana. Right. Which I want to say about 3 to 3.5 years ago, this industry rocketed that I don't even think the public can really understand how.
So I'm gonna tell you like this: when I opened my shop, I was the only shop.
Right.
That was 3 years ago in 2020.
Right.
February 2nd, 2020, I opened up my shop. There was no other smoke shops. Nobody was selling glass in Polk County like that, except for my homeboy D at the Jackpot out there in Winter Haven.
Okay.
He was the only other one. I used to go into a shop all the time. Yeah, Auburndale, my bad, Auburndale. I used to tell him all the time, man, I'm gonna get me one. Boom, got me one. Now, nobody else was selling that shit in Lakeland. They had vape shops, but they weren't selling glass. They weren't selling Delta 8 by the pound.
Because it wasn't there at that point.
But the next thing I know, in the next 3 years, now we got fucking 20, 30 shops. And everybody from fucking Orlando, Tampa, people are just hearing, oh, it's a lucrative market. And everybody, next thing you know, we're just piled on top of each other now. You got smoke shops across the street from smoke shops in Lakeland now. Yep. And it wasn't like that 3 years ago. That. You know what I'm saying?
And that was on the simple fact of the cannabis.
It made it cutthroat. Yeah. It made it a real cutthroat industry.
It was, so all that caused was just all of the new things that the hemp plant had given you, synthesizing it, extracting it through different manners, nitrogen, hydrogen, like all these things. So now the industry has grown,
right,
to a magnitude where the plant has way more benefits than we originally thought, which was just a CBD. Right. You got CBD, CBV, CBG, you got CBA, you got so many things, man, that the hemp plant can give you. And I think that, like with everything in the world, once certain people, certain demographics, or certain just human beings that see it as a cash grab or money quickly or just massive revenue stream, they hold the strongest power, and that's either to forget what the real purpose and the initial purpose was, which was for it to be a healthy alternative to people that didn't want to smoke marijuana because it was really harsh or what have you, to now, hey, let's exploit the crap out of this,
Right.
And I think that's going back to the bill. I think that's what caused the bill, to even originate, because Governor Commissioner Simpson is on the grounds of, or was on the grounds of, we want to protect kids, we want to protect our youth, we want to protect our generation. Hold on, that's great. We're all for it. And if you're not, then you're really the bad person here.
Right.
But to slip certain things in the bill that he did wasn't gonna regulate or help the industry get better and grow into the right direction. He was just cutting the freaking head of the snake. Right. And what he was doing was basically regulating what compounds we can use, okay, and then what milligrams we can use for packaging.
Right.
And he started off at 0.5 milligrams and 5 milligrams in total. I mean, the industry has evolved so much now. I mean, there's a brand that we represent that it goes all the way up to 300 milligrams per edible.
3,000.
Well, 3,000 per package.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just saw something that was like 900 milligrams on it.
You're hitting us with that, and it's like, I always told him when it first came out, we would talk days for it. It's like, it's so sad because there's two ways to destroy someone. You could either get a gun and put it in his head and you're done with his misery, or you'd be like, yo, take off all your clothes, here's a bottle of water, and go out there in the freezing cold and just stay there. You can't come inside and don't ask for anything. That's all you get. That's all you got.
Right.
You're slowly killing that person.
Right.
So now we're back to normal. Luckily, it didn't pass. The bill's passed, but a lot of amendments got done and changes to the bill. We're at normality, but it was a massive scare. It was a massive scare.
Right.
And now we got, there's articles and murmurs out there that, there's certain people behind the bill, and we won't mention certain things because we don't want to get into that, but there's certain people that are behind the bill, so that we don't take a lot of the money, because this industry's
it's all the MSOs, it's all the true leaves, your moves,
and that's kind of where I was gonna go to, because like I know when I was looking into a lot of this, I know a lot of, we'll just call them political figures, were they were against the recreational use of it, but they were okay to at least a degree of the medical properties of it,
because your MSO came to these guys and said, here, take this.
Right.
Put this in. What would you want? A new Porsche?
Right.
I got that for you. What you want? You want a new yacht? I got you.
So basically buying them off then.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Everybody has a price.
Right.
Everybody has a price. And if you got deep pockets, you can meet that price. And that's the problem with your true leaves, your moves, your cure leaves. That's the problem with your MSOs and your big corporations running all this shit. Even though they run a cannabis side, they still affect our side of the business because they had the power to go on and just scrap our whole business, just like they did in Pennsylvania. I was reading an article this morning about Pennsylvania. They caught a guy with over 1,100 or 1,700 edibles, you know what I'm saying, and D8 and not cannabis products, D8 and D10 products, and they're facing charges for drug manufacturing and distribution for something that's federally fucking legal. Right. But because the state of Pennsylvania has passed a law because of these MSOs and everything else saying, oh, you can't have D8 and D10 and everything else like that, or whatever the legislature or whoever the fuck is behind it, they scrapped something that was federally legal. So your rights are being stepped on. I feel like they are. Right. My fucking basic rights are being stepped on. This is something that we can have.
Right.
President Donald Trump said we can have this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, who the fuck are you to say I can't have it?
Right.
A governor? Right. Like, come on, man. And then you're taking my store, you're taking my livelihood, you're taking everything from me. You know, I feel bad for those shop owners, man.
It's not even that. To the state of Florida, the amount of money that comes into the state of Florida through this business of shop owners and just tourism. I mean, we got shops out of there in Orlando that, you know, right down on International Drive, I mean, they do great.
Right.
Because they got a touristic market there. So when certain people come out of state into Florida and their state was shut down, guess what? They're going to be buying up the store because they can't have it over there.
They can't have it over there.
So it's definitely a ginormous revenue stream. Like I said, you know, I just think that the industry needs to go back to its roots. And I think that certain, you know, me and him talk about it all the time, and we can go for days. There's certain distros and there's certain smoke shops and there's certain people out there who do it right.
Right.
You know, and I take pride in mentioning Chico and 86, you know, and other people that I do business with, because they're really stuck in the root and they're culturally invested. I'm not saying that I don't do business with people that aren't culturally invested, because, you know, you gotta accept it. You gotta make money. You gotta accept everybody. But
at the same time,
but at the same time, you gotta make sure, you know, you do this, guys, because you guys love it, and there's a bone in your body that, you know, if you didn't love it, why the hell would you do it, right?
Right.
So that goes back to the same thing with me. You know, I like communicating with customers that have a prerequisite of this industry and are doing it because they want it.
Right.
You know, I got a shop out in Wesley Chapel, Stellar Vapor. Doug, he's a hell of a freaking man.
Right.
And he got into this industry because he wanted the people to stop smoking. Huge advocate of tobacco-free Florida. Huge. And, you know, those are the things that I think that this industry, if we want to head in the right way and we want to play ball, or we want to compete with all of these other people that are backing us to get out, I don't think we're going to win in the financial war. I really don't think so. I think we win by showing them, hey, we're not bad people. You know, we're just offering an alternative that's cheaper. Way cheaper. Does the same effect. And if you get it from reliable sources, from the manufacturer to the distribution and to the store, I think you'll avoid headaches, you'll avoid scares, you'll avoid paranoia.
So it's kind of like in your
of it being like laced or anything, because you getting it from business to business.
Yeah, because I mean,
well, real quick,
I'll tell you, we're gonna be here for days.
Well, no, that's what I was about to say. Like in your, I know on your website you're a real big advocate of quality over the quantity.
Yeah, and that's on our slogan. Is total quality distribution. We believe in quality. That's what's. I mean,
and that's basically the moral of the story.
Yep.
Quality work with quality people, quality product, straight to the people.
Correct.
Facts.
And I can see how it could get out of hand with certain people, because I grew up around there, and you know, I went to school around here, so you know, high school kid sneaking out trying to go smoke something.
Right.
You had to leave Polk County to go find glass or anything like that. So
Carolina Road.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got that one little section on the side. He only got the glass. He ain't got no bowls, no down stems, no nothing. So you break one piece, you gotta go buy a whole new fucking piece. You break your little bowl, you gotta go buy a whole new piece.
That's the one I was imagining in my head too. I said a little gas station.
You break your little slider, you gotta go buy a whole nother one.
Because it's one solid, like
it was
I
wild, man.
days, but now I could go through Lakeland and just be like, oh, shop.
Yeah.
But the question is, can you go to Lakeland and talk to someone, go in a store? So you go to down South Florida Avenue and you can see a store in front of a goddamn store, and the only thing dividing is the South Florida Avenue.
Yeah.
The question is, can you go into a store and can they properly answer your question?
True.
One, and two, inform you for either a cheaper alternative or something that's going to probably avoid your issue. Whether that's, he's got the product right here, and that's up to him if he wants to shout him out or not. But we got products like the iSpire that he blows the hell out, and you got stores that put them on their shelves because of decoration purposes.
We were the first one with them,
But if you talk to him about it, he'll goddamn sure convince you that drop your bong, drop everything that you thought you've known to use, and use this. It's gonna save you time. It's gonna save you money. It's gonna be a cleaner hit. It's gonna function better. It has spare parts. It does. I mean, he can go on for days. Man,
I seen him at a festival.
So, do you want to please tell us where it came from? I seen that
at a festival, and then I looked at it, found out about it some more, did some more research on it, and then I did the comparisons. I was hitting my Puffco. I bought the Carta. I bought the fucking Puffco Peak. I bought the Peak, the Carta, then I bought the Peak Pro. All waste of money.
Right.
Because I looked and I went and I seen this fucking machine people were using at a festival. And then I looked and I did some more research on it, called one of my distros, and I said, man, I need this fucking machine. It was like, yo, we got them in stock.
Right.
And it's a better alternative for the customer. Now, when you go to some shops, they're going to sell you that Puffco or they're going to sell you that higher-end machine because of the fact that they make their money off of the atomizers.
Right.
And that's what separates me from a lot of businesses, too. I don't want to sell you something that you're going to have to keep coming back and getting parts for and shit like that. Mm-hmm. That's why I like this iSpire, because it's all one single unit. It comes in this badass Pelly case. You know what I'm saying? Snap it out. It's all glass on glass. So you got your my bad. You got your body here. You got your reclaim bucket there. These are your atomizers.
And this is not paid promotion. This is just for you to understand.
Facts.
Like, this is why I sell certain things over certain things.
Right.
This is your atomizer. Now the Puffco, you can't put as much in as you can here. None of that stuff. Like this one, you can load it up. And it works through induction heating too. Mm-hmm. So you just drop that in there, and you drop your top on. You know, I got my travel card cap on there today. And you drop that on there. That's it. You know, 5 clicks
fast
on,
in a hurry.
5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. Now Puffco, they work the same way, yes. But the thing is, they charge you $60 for a fucking atomizer. You paid $300, $500 for a machine already. Right. You're gonna pay $60 for an atomizer every time, and then it's not a sealed unit like this one. This one's a sealed unit. Right. So your wax doesn't get into your battery, into fucking your machine or nothing. Only way you can mess this up and have to come back to see me is if you break something. Right. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that I like to sell because it's $299 one time. Yeah. As opposed to $500, $300, and then you got to come back and buy these $50, $60 atomizers every time you gum it up.
And again, it goes back to that quality, because it's just like so this morning, me and my wife was making breakfast for the family and stuff like that, and we were talking about the stove and how it's an old stove, and she was talking, and she was like, man, these old stoves, you don't even got to turn them up high for them to heat up, and they will work good for a long time. And I told her that's because back in the day, they made things to last long. Right. Now they make stuff to break, so you just keep replacing it.
Look at IKEA. You go in IKEA, not one piece of furniture is made from fucking wood. Right. It's made from particle board. You know what I'm saying? Your kid spills a cup of juice on it, soaks into it, the screws are popping out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Set something wet on there, you know? Yeah. Shit's not made to last anymore. Right. And that's why I sell quality products that are made to last. Like this right here, made to last. This thing has lasted me almost a year and a half, 2 years already. You know what I'm saying? And
they're easy to get the spare parts too.
It's easy to get the parts. It's easy to maintain. Right. And it's just a quality product that's built to last. Whereas that Puffco, I've ran through 3 Puffcos already. Yeah, 3 of them. Fucking shit, warranty every time, and they send me another one, and I swear they just fucking did some shit and sent me that same. I was gonna say, he won't know. Just watch it. He won't know. So just like clean it up, shine it up, and send that motherfucker back, and I'm right back to the same issue. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I feel you.
It's not all made the same, man. So when you find good quality products and you find a place that sells quality stuff, I recommend you stick with them. Ask around, you know what I'm saying? Don't just jump into some stuff. Yeah, don't get some stuff just because your buddy got it. Like right now, everybody's going crazy for the Proxy. Right. My buddy went crazy and bought the Proxy. I showed him this right here. He's like, damn, how long you had that? That just came out. I said, no, I had that almost 2 years, bro. And he just bought this Proxy, and he's always fucking with it and shit. He's dropping inside these little things. But he has to keep loading these little ass hits in it. Little ass hits, because if you put too much, it's going to overboil and get into your battery and fuck up your $600 machine, $300 machine that you just bought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you.
Dog, I got cars. I got 4 fucking race cars right now that are the same age as me. You know what I'm saying? If not older.
Right.
I got my youngest one is probably the 87. It's the 87 Cutlass. I got 2 83s and an 85.
Right.
And they all crank up. They all go. It's all about buying shit that's meant to last and maintaining it.
Right.
You know, that's another big thing too.
Right.
Like it's a good product. It's meant to last, but it's all being maintained.
Yeah, everything being maintained.
An AR-15 will last you and shoot every damn time, but you got to maintain it.
That's a fact.
Same thing.
Yeah,
same concept.
Revolvers, facts.
Same thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Nah, I feel you on that, dog. I feel you on that.
Yo, I compare pipe ownership and dab ownership and dab rig ownership to like gun ownership a lot because it goes the same. You know, same thing with car ownership.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like owning a gun. You gotta clean your gun. Why would you not change your oil? You know, fucking change your brakes, do shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all about maintenance. It's the same thing with a smart rig or even a glass rig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as a shop owner too, it's about us having the maintenance going on and doing our due diligence and our research to make sure that we're getting you guys the best products.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because anybody can just buy some shit off of China, Alibaba, and just put it in stock and just sell it. You know what I'm saying? That's easy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But selling quality stuff and developing a relationship with that customer to where they trust you, and my customers work hard for the fucking money.
Right.
I work hard for my money. You know what I'm saying? You work hard for your money.
You damn right.
He works hard for his money.
Right.
We don't want to spend it on shit that we're going to have to keep buying, or, you know, somebody sells you a fucking lemon car, you're not going to go back to that guy. Nah. It's the same thing in this industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I sell you a
But not everybody thinks like that. Not everybody thinks like that. You got shops out there that's just like, yo, give me the cheapest thing you got. I don't give a shit if it breaks or not. I don't give a shit what they use it for. You know, they just don't know. They don't care.
They don't want to buy a quality product like a Smack product or a TKO product.
Right.
They want to buy something that's like just some manufactured, no-name knockoff, like they might throw a cookie on here.
COAs bump up to another product.
You know what I'm saying? You go to scan the back, and the back doesn't scan. It's showing you something that another website, you know what I'm saying? Another product or something that's not even in the box.
Yeah.
You know, now you're putting this in your body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to trust us and have trust with us the same way that like you would trust a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody making.
Even though we're not no medical.
Yeah, we don't have any medical training or anything like that, but you still have to have that same level of trust. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're putting this in your body. Yeah. And we have to go on and have that same confidence in the products that we sell also.
That's the integrity part of it.
That's the big part of it. Because it starts with us. Even though the distributors and stuff like that, it all falls on the retail side. On the retail owner, the store owner, because it's up to us to grab that product out of his warehouse.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if we're being shady and we keep grabbing the product and knowing it's a shady product and shit like that, he's going to keep buying it and keep pushing it.
Yeah.
Not him necessarily, but I'm saying anywhere, any distributor.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a big thing. It's all about trust and integrity and doing the right thing. And integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking, and that's a big thing as a shop owner. You don't have anybody looking over your shoulder all the time, so you have to make sure that you're grabbing a product that's going to be best for your customer. Mm-hmm. Look at the vapes, man. Those nicotine vapes. There's a bunch of them. I don't have that many on my shelf right now because a lot of places have knockoffs.
Right.
And I don't want to sell knockoffs that are going to get my customers sick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like my customers. I like when they come.
It took me to convince him to get him back into the synthetic nicotine.
Right.
Obviously, he did his own due diligence and saw, that's the route to go. But it took a couple months, almost a year, for us to talk and be like, because I remember when I first met him, it took me 3 tries to get a hold of him. Finally got a hold of him, told him who I was, and what I do and how I can help, and just to give me a chance. And I'll never forget, one of the topics were, at the time, it was a brand, and it's still around, it's called Fume. It's a synthetic nicotine disposable vape.
Yeah, I know about that.
And it was off. Yeah. I mean, when I'm telling you, it was going like wildfire. People were going like wildfire because a lot of people just don't like smoking tobacco or just don't like the flavored tobacco. You add a little bit of freaking cherry, purple rain, all these little flavors to it. Yeah. We're gonna be fine on the shelf. But he was at a point where it's like, yo, I gotta get rid of these. Because as soon as I say, yeah, like Red Bull flavor, I'm like, by any chance, Red Bull flavor. And I'm like, dude, by any chance, you know where you're getting that from? And he's like, nah, I don't do this. Like, I don't smoke it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, well, you know, can you do your own due diligence? Because on my end, I could tell you, I haven't seen those flavors, and I know where we're getting our stuff from, and those flavors do not exist. Right. So on my end, that looks fishy, but do your own due diligence because that doesn't look right. And he did. And he's like, fuck that, I'm not going to buy it from anywhere else. You got it. Like, I'm going to only buy from you, and you got it from here, you know? Because it was tough, and it still goes around now.
So in regards to the vape market and stuff like that, do you guys have any that you, like, would personally vouch for over others?
Okay. So our industry as a distributor, so I'm sorry, I got to tell you the whole story. Yeah. As a distributor, this industry is assembled by so many different sectors. Mm-hmm. You got so many different sectors. Mm-hmm. The synthetic nicotine sector of this industry is a very unique. It's one of the biggest reasons why this industry has skyrocketed and boomed. Mm-hmm. A major, major reason, along with Delta products. But that was originated and meant for people to stop smoking.
Right.
That was the sole purpose of just vapes in general. Because remember back in the day it was first the pouches and it was all this stuff, and that was the purpose for that. One of the first companies that really hit it out of the park was what was it? Puff bars.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. The puff bars.
Yeah, I remember.
Small little device, and there was like 600 puffs. But these gentlemen had this, marvelous idea that, I always pray at night that I get some simpler idea that comes out and make millions off of it. And they just added flavor to it. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's nothing. It's just
this in bottles.
Yeah. So they add flavors, and the industry just was like, what? Then it evolved into other brands to come out because it was a section of the industry that they saw potential to. So now where we're at today. And where we're at today, there's countless numerous of brands. Mm-hmm. There's countless numerous of puffs you can get. I think we're up to 8,000 at this point.
Yeah, I think
8,000.
I think the one the one I normally do is like 45 or 4,800 or something.
4,800. Okay. Yeah. So we're up to these ridiculous amount of puffs, and there's some certain things that when you talk to gentlemen like us versus people that just see the underlining value or the margins in products, mm-hmm. they're probably like, I don't give a shit. It's just it's just nicotine. Right. There's so many things in that sector that's really I don't agree with, if you ask me.
Right.
Just like they'll up and up the ml size on a product, 2 mLs, and they'll be like, oh well, it's double the puffs. Is it really?
Right.
So when you ask me, is there a particular brand that I would like to shout out or have the community, take into higher consideration than others? I don't think I would. Because I think they all do the same, and it's a matter of taste. It's a matter of like. I think that there are certain brands out there like EB Designs and Funky Republics that we push and that flies off the shelf because, like, for example, this entire industry, mm-hmm. the vaporizing industry, started off with a cylinder like looking little thing, mm-hmm. and then it turned into a square looking thing, mm-hmm. and then now the Funky, it's trend setting. Funky's was the first one to put an LED screen that shows you the juice life and the battery life. Revolutionary. Yeah. Because before that it was just it was the Elf bars, now EB Designs, that were the ones that changed the design of the mod. Mm-hmm. So I think if you ask me, Funky's, I would definitely recommend people because it's setting different features, and it's growing that because we're just going back in time if you think about it.
Yeah.
People went from doing mods and juicing because it was all about the smoke and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But people like the convenience of disposables. But we're getting to the point we're getting closer to how many puffs you can get a disposable into a mod.
Right.
So we're going backwards, in a way.
Well, so it's on the same line of thought, but a slightly different way of coming at it. So like when you look at like with the CBD and the hemp stuff, a lot of people wanted to opt out of the smoking because, you know, when you're smoking, you get the smoke in your lungs, and then people got the problems with, you know, and all of that good stuff. And so, like, when you take that and then you transfer it over to the vaping industry and whatnot, and you look at people trying to get away from the tar in your lungs and the smoke and stuff like that to shorten your breath, but they still want, like, that smooth, what would you call it, inhale, the flavor and stuff like that. Is it a way, or do you think there is a way for them to keep that but make it healthier to a degree?
Because that's zero nicotine.
And that's why I'm a huge advocate for it. I'm a massive advocate for it. You know, right now, from a business perspective, the money is in 5% nicotine, salt nic. That's where the money's at, and I'm not gonna lie to you. That's where the money's at as far as from
addictive.
Nicotine is very addictive, especially salt nicotine.
And that's what I see too, the salt nicotine.
Very concentrated. And all these products are done in different countries outside the United States, where United States has regulated certain, things you can add. That's why if you take, juice, salt nic or juice from the United States and compare it to one of these disposables, your first reaction would be like, it's harsh and it doesn't taste as sweet. Because they're adding additives over there that are not regulated, okay, and just bringing it in and just making it into an end product and then just shipping it in, where it's attracting just people in general to be like, well, the convenience is there, the quote unquote, the upfront price is cheaper than a mod because you gotta buy the mod, then you got all the juice, you got the coils, so the upfront cost is cheaper, but the longevity they might not be thinking entirely through, and the flavor's there. And the convenience is there.
I was like, I don't know.
So it goes back to what we talked about with IKEA. It's a disposable culture nowadays. Nothing's built to last.
Right.
This culture is just so bent on give it to me now, and that's it.
There you go, microwave culture.
Look at the most TikTok.
Yep.
30-second videos, 6-second videos.
Yeah.
The shorter your video is, the better chance you have at going viral and getting in there because you're hitting that quick attention span. And it's the same thing with products and consumerism right now in the market. People want that quick satisfaction. Why grow a watermelon when you can get a watermelon now?
And that's why
the same thing.
And that's why we immediately enter zero nicotine. Because I personally, and I approached him to this, I was like, this is the future. Because our industry is constantly getting battered. We just got through the bill from March to last month. That was hell on earth for us. And then we live another 3 months. But another 3 months, something else is going to happen.
Right.
Whereas this industry is so unstable.
EB Designs at the port. Right now, EB Designs, Breeze, and Pablo bars are being seized at the port and being destroyed by the FDA.
Why?
Because they're being shipped from a country that's on a red list due to non-compliance. Now, what that means exactly, I don't know. I don't want to lie to you.
Right.
But they're just seizing them at the ports and fucking destroying them.
I think it's regulation they probably weren't following, or
I think
there's regulation on it.
With just the money issue. I think
this is
like they're trying to track where the money's going and shit.
Right.
And it's probably going to companies that they don't agree with and stuff that they don't agree with. So, especially with all this U.S.-China relations being fucked up right now.
That's what I was wondering.
And all this stuff is made in China.
This industry is going to be a Netflix documentary. Mark my words. This industry is just going to be like that cocaine cowboy kind of industry. Just like that. It would just be like a documentary like that. Where you saw where this industry started. It started humbly. It started as, the Farm Bill came in, and it's like, oh my gosh, I think we figured out a healthy alternative. Not a loophole, a healthy alternative.
Right.
Okay, because a loophole would still have malicious intent.
Correct.
Right? A healthy alternative is, hey, we can introduce this to a community that's so used to marijuana being so taboo, but everyone knows everybody does it at some point in their life, in the shower, behind a cracked door, and out of a freaking, I don't know, apple back in the day. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like...
It's funny you say that.
So it's like, you saw where this started.
Yeah.
And it's skyrocketed overnight. I mean, I'm sorry to use all these analogies, But it's like the Rolling Stones. If you see a documentary on the Rolling Stones, you see all these like documentaries on how people get very rich, famous, and notoriety so quickly that it's the main reason to their downfall. Because you lose what we're trying to get back. And so this podcast today is the quality, the care of the product to your end user, and mixing that with a little bit of affordability. You got a recipe for people just to make their own decisions. Right. And I think why these, and he mentions it, and I refuse to, these other kind of people that see us as evil or as competition,
the MSOs,
they see us as bad people. Truly. But we're not doing anything bad. We're just putting it on the table for those people that want a legal alternative and potentially less of a hassle. Because think about it, and you can get your license. He's got a plug for the license. He can shout her out too. She helps him with the license. You shop at his store, you get the license.
The
same day,
they take care
they take care of you.
Right.
But some people still feel like it's taboo. So they don't want to go through all that. So you go to your friendly smoke shop and you approach it, and it might be cheaper. I mean, he broke it down for me the other day, and because I don't have a medical card, to be honest with you. So he broke it down for me, so I've never been into one, and neither do I want to be, honestly. But
we're stopping at one on the way.
but he broke it down for me, and we had the 300 milligram, 3,000 milligram packages, edibles, sour belts, and he was like, "Yo, I sell this for $60 all day, and you get 3 times the amount of your value if you were to go to a dispensary, because at $60, you can, 1,000 milligrams?
No, you get 100 milligrams is the most, and it sucks. Like, the dosing and shit here, our fucking medical program here is a fucking joke. Right. When you talk to other patients and stuff, people from other states, and when I travel, and I've been to other states and stuff like that, and I got other business interests and stuff that allow me to go do other things and talk with other minds and meet in politics with other people, and they all laugh at our medical program here, dog. It's a fucking joke. 2.5 ounces every 35 days. Then on top of that, you're regulated on what you can buy, how much you can buy, everything. Yeah. It's just so fucked up, dog. And it's all because of the people with deep pockets, just like the people at Truly, how they got caught, manipulating the system.
So let me ask a quick question before you continue on that. So I keep hearing you mention MSOs, and then the first thing you do is holler at groups like True Leaf and stuff like that. Are they not in these other states where...
They are in other states. That's what makes them an MSO. MSO stands for multi-state operation.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of these companies are. True Leaf, Pure Leaf, Move, Parallel. They're all grown. They're all ran by big companies, you know what I'm saying, and other states.
So what's separating it then? Because like you said, if you've been traveling and they're in all these different states, but
a lot of these states, they crushed the hemp laws. They killed the CBD markets.
Right.
They killed the hemp markets.
Well, no, not that. But like how you said, when you talk to these other people, how they say that our medical field or department or whatever is trash, and like, in comparison to theirs. Well, if they still have these same MSOs there,
well, it's not the MSO's fault on that part. It's our legislators. It's
okay.
It's our governor, fucking DeSantis, fucking Commissioner Simpson. We had a cool lady, Nikki Fried. Yeah. She was all right, but she was
huge advocate for our industry.
She was a huge advocate for our industry, but she was doing shit kind of the wrong way and associating with the wrong people and stuff like that. And so she kind of fucked it up and gave the industry a black eye here in Florida. And so they got this Commissioner Simpson in, and he's got to stick up his ass so motherfucking big, dog. Like, it comes out his fucking throat.
So do you guys think that there's a way to kind of meet halfway? Because I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I think we did already. Well, we did already because I think he was just introduced when that bill went bad and went in or submitted. Sorry, and I don't know if it was him, trying to make a splash into his introductory position.
We're not, because we have people like Miss Moody, our state attorney, Miss Moody, our Attorney General. Sorry,
okay,
State Attorney General.
Gotcha.
And I think her name's Angela Moody or something like that. I forgot the bitch's first name, but it's Moody. But she blocked. We got a bill going right now to get recreational marijuana, and she filed with the state Supreme Court to go on and block that bill from hitting the 2024 ballot, which is a bill I'm against anyway. But the fact that she would have the balls to go up and say, no, we're going to block this bill, and she gave no reason for it or anything. Right. So now our 2024 recreational that was going to go on the ballot is now being fought by the state attorney general. That's why I say our medical program and our cannabis program here is a fucking joke compared to other states, because we have our own people trying to stop from giving the people what we want. She works for us. She's a state attorney general. She's an elected official. She's an official that's here that we put in there. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Then we put her in here. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to represent us for what we want. And the people of Florida want recreational marijuana. So who the hell is she to say no? I'm going to block it. No, she has supporters like Grady Judd, the Florida Sheriff's Association, with some sheriffs are against what they're doing.
Right.
You know, you have some sheriffs that just say it's harmless. Right. It's not going to hurt anybody. We see a decrease in crime because of it. Then you got people like Grady Judd who get on the TV and that marijuana, that harmless drug. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. It's not hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? People are going to shoot each other no matter fucking what. Yeah. People will shoot each other over fucking birthday cakes. What are you going to do? Birthday cakes are harmful. Like, come on, man. Yeah. You know, stand there with a picture of a birthday cake? There's birthday cake from Publix Bakery.
I mean, well, not even on the birthday cake thing, but like, up in other states, people was killing each other over Jordan shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Video games.
Yeah, facts. But I do want to say though, like, I really don't see what the big fuss is with going against CBD and going against legalizing marijuana recreationally and stuff like that. No, I get that. But like,
do you think it's because they're trying to keep it more medically? Not because they feel like it's better, but if I put it more medically, there's more legal documents you got to go through, and government can do that like that. It'd be harder for
him and I might have different opinions.
Gotcha.
Him and I might have a different opinion on your question.
I will split both. How I'm thinking about it is they'll do it that way, so it's harder. So that way, if it's recreational, everybody can get a piece of the pie. Well, if I keep it medical, the profits are a little bit lower, but you don't get a cut.
Well, no. In the state of Florida, on the recreational bill, it's called Regulate Florida. There's one called Regulate Florida. We're actually able to grow, and we get homegrown and stuff like that. That one didn't get too much traction, but the new one that was going on the 2024 bill is called Safety Florida. With Safety Florida, it's ran by the MSOs. Yeah, we get recreational, but we still can't share. Let's say it's recreational. I spark up a joint. I can't pass it to you guys. You guys have to have your own. Okay. If I do, I'm breaking the law by sharing my medication, even though it's recreational.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Even though it's recreational, okay? But you still have to go get it from the dispensary. You can't have home grow. Like, you couldn't have 5 or 6 plants in the background here that we'd be breaking the law. Not just the federal law, but the state law also.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? You have to deal. That's why I say these MSOs are in the background pushing the shit. They have these politicians and everybody up front as puppets.
It all falls back.
You know what I'm saying? And they're behind them. They're pulling the strings on the puppet. You know what I'm saying? DeSantis, all these guys, they're all just puppets. These MSOs are telling, no, we're going to pull this money from Florida. We'll pull our businesses from here. We're not going to give you this fucking money anymore. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? You're going to send your state into a depression? Or are you just going to play ball?
My opinion on your question, it falls more on, that's where me and Chico have our, different opinions on certain things. I'm more on, it's not trying to be cliche or anything, but if you want to change, be the change in a way, and I don't think our industry is giving them reasons to like us right now. I really don't.
Why?
Because it falls back to the reason. It all goes back to how fast this industry is growing and who's figuring out where this money, how much money this industry can give you. Right. So if you and this is where politics for me, I think it's a chess move at this point. Like, I'd rather play chess than a screaming match. That's just my opinion, right? So when the MSOs are coming out here and trying to do what they're doing and lobbying and take a chokehold on something, you could look at it from the perspective of him, or you could look at it the perspective that I have, which is, I don't think we're getting these products into the hands of the right people because the people that are getting their hand of these, like shops or convenience stores or gas stations or liquor stores now. I mean, we were just talking about there's a restaurant that has a section just for smoke shop related items.
I went to Orlando, went to a steakhouse, dog. So I had a steakhouse on International Drive in Orlando. I went there, dog. Not only did a roach crawl across the table, I got my steak for free and shit. The roach just popped up like Ratatouille, like I was a kid. And then I was like, yo, get the manager, like, yo, just go.
So I think so.
There's a smoke shop in the back of the fucking restaurant. So on the way out, I see the fucking smoke shop. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Now finish up, cause I really want to hear
So I feel like, when you're giving someone a reason to not like you or dislike you or misinterpret you, they're gonna win. And they're going to do everything in their power to knock you the hell off under the grounds of everything you're doing wrong.
Okay.
Simpson came, I repeat this, and I said it in the beginning, Commissioner Simpson was on the grounds, if you heard his statement, because he went on the podium, if you heard his statement, he was on the grounds of, this is getting in our next generation kids' hands, and we got to stop this. Well, what products? And they put up products that me and him saw, and we were laughing. They were Cali nerd ropes with real THC stuff with the Cali caution sign, and slapped a D8, just a sticker on top.
That we were selling. It's not even products that we sell.
It's not even products we're selling.
Right.
But that means, but if you are heading to certain areas, whether that be a smoke shop, a convenience store, a gas station, a liquor store, a restaurant, I'm not going to say where, but there's more of there's a higher chance that you might find those products in certain areas. That's why I feel like regulation in combating MSO needs to be on the grounds of, hey, we're doing this shit right. We're doing this shit with good intentions, and we understand it's a lucrative business, and your industry's a lucrative business, so why the fuck are we fighting?
Right.
We should not be fighting.
So if
we should
the two of y'all,
good.
So let's say the two of y'all were the representatives for the state of Florida. If y'all could get in front of anybody and actually plead this case, who would it be?
I'd have to go.
I would sit down right next to Simpson.
To Simpson himself.
I would sit down right into Simpson and make him understand. I would go to Santa. I wouldn't talk to DeSantis.
Well, why not? Get him to take a puff and partake like Joe did with
DeSantis doesn't like the smell of it. He's cool with pot, but he doesn't like the smell of it. That's why he doesn't want recreational. Like in Oklahoma, I fucking love that place. You can smoke anywhere. Anywhere you smoke a cigarette, you can smoke a fucking joint. Get off the fucking plane in Tulsa, walk through the airport. Once you get outside and light up a fucking joint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember when this bill happened, and I was when the bill happened, I only speak for myself. I won't speak for anybody else, and I'll let him speak for himself as well.
Right.
We were down about 70 to 80% on sales.
Right.
That's how massive that bill. That's how much of a shockwave that caused our entire industry, because you're fucking with people's inventories. You're fucking with the unknown of, if you have them, are we gonna get freaking the SWAT team in our smoke shop and be like, hey, stick them? Like what's gonna happen?
I didn't scrap my whole D8 project out just fear of being labeled a drug dealer when I woke up one morning because I failed to read something or didn't catch the memo or anything like that. I actually halted my purchases of D8 and hemp cannabinoids and stuff because of what Simpson did with pushing that bill and everything. And a lot of places just kept buying and pushing stuff, and I would go into these stores and explain to them what's going on. And they would think I'm just like some asshole lying to them. Like, nah, you're just lying.
Competition.
You're competition. You're lying to me. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to save you from yourself.
I remember being on the phone with somebody. They don't send us
a memo.
No. You gotta do your own due diligence. You gotta do your own due diligence.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
And I remember being on the phone with someone, and I remember, our industry's had a bunch of scares. THCO was the last one. THCO was the last one that caused a real dent in our industry, because it was one of those things where it was the new one, because everyone's trying to find the new hot product, the new hot Delta or hemp derived product.
Right now it's THCA. THCA is the big product. But THCA isn't going to last more than a couple more months or maybe even a couple more weeks, because once they go on and test it, and they test it through gas chromatography, so it decarboxylizes it. So once you decarboxylize THCA, it converts into THC. So once that converts into THC on the gas chromatographer, and it goes on and it shows up that it's actually like
full-blown THC, not under the 0.3% regulation.
Yeah, not under the 0.3%, because like I said, once you decarboxylate it, meaning once you light it up and you smoke it, you're smoking the real thing now at that point.
Right.
You know?
I get you. Okay, so like let's say I had THCA, sell you to it as flower or whatever.
Pre-roll. It's a pre-roll.
Yeah, pre-roll. Or even when you light it, it turns because of the
decarboxylation.
So they'll do the tip.
Process.
So a lot of people do the tip. They'll do the tip. They'll do keef, THCA keef, or they'll. So I have actually a manufacturer, a vendor of mine that has a pre-roll, and they do the tip, they do the keef on the outside, and they'll put diamonds, THCA diamonds in the flower. So they're, you know, so it's one of those things where
Trulieve sells it.
But Trulieve sells marijuana THCA.
They sell
the hemp derived
THCA. They sell THCA. It doesn't matter if it's hemp derived or cannabis derived. It's THCA. When you break it down molecularly, it's the same thing on either level. So THCA is THCA.
Yeah.
It's like saying crack and cocaine. It's still cocaine.
Yeah.
It's still cocaine at the end of the day. So it's THCA. So it doesn't matter. And that's the problem, to go back to it, with these MSOs and why they want us out the way. They used to sell Delta 8 up until 2018. 2016 we got our medical. No, 2018 we got the farm bill. 2016 is when we actually got our Florida medical program and stuff like that.
Right.
So in those 2 years, they were highly lucrative with the D8. But then Trump signed that paper. They scrapped it, thinking, oh, all the gas stations and everybody's going to get it.
Right.
But then when they noticed that everybody's smoking more D8 than regular marijuana, because you can still buy your guns.
It's an alternative.
Well, you can still buy your guns. That's the big thing here in Florida. When I get customers in here into my shop, they ask me flat out, is this going to affect me buying guns? No, it's not. Because you're not on a register. I don't write your fucking name down on none of that shit. I don't report it to anybody. Whereas now the ATF released a statement the other day saying that you cannot own guns and be a medical patient.
Because God damn it, I've been waiting for somebody to actually go there. I've been trying to figure out why they keep trying to make this correlation for so long, and I was reading some stuff from history. Well, and it goes back into history. When you know history, then you kind of understand why things play out the way they do. Yeah. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he was a freaking billionaire and millionaire at that time. But he was one of those advocates that were trying to say that people that smoked marijuana at that time, Mexicans that smoked marijuana, were super predators or whatever like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they were trying to say that they were super predators, and that when they were on the
Henslingman was the guy.
That's that motherfucker.
I told you, I'm in this culture.
We were just talking about
it. See, I know the story intimately. I just couldn't remember the guy's name for nothing, man. And it's freaking crazy. Like, dog. Like, that is freaking crazy.
He did it to protect his interest in the paper business.
Yeah. Because hemp, they used to use hemp in order to make paper. Yeah.
Everything.
Fucking everything. Bro, I heard a story, allegedly, don't know if it's true. But they said that I believe either the Constitution or the Declaration was actually written. Yeah, it's written. It's hemp paper. So it's like,
well, George, what's the name? George Washington, our first president, actually mandated that people would grow hemp.
Yeah. He
said that every house should have hemp.
Facts.
It's because you can use it to make textiles, rope, clothes, so much shit. It was just like, it was like Wonder Bread, you know what I'm saying? It was the best thing that happened. And you can use it for, you can feed it to your animals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can smoke it for a calming effect. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those pipes, it was hemp inside those pipes. It wasn't tobacco. They were tobacco pipes, but they were filled with fucking hemp. Hemp and tobacco mixed. And George Washington was actually a big user of hemp. So, it's something that's been around. It's been around forever, and people are just now bringing it to the forefront and to the light. And I think that's what scares a lot of people, is because the ignorance of it. Yeah. People fear what they do not know.
Facts.
So it is what it is. You know, if you know a snake's not gonna hurt you, but it can be way over there. You're still gonna back up way in the fucking corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's way over there just doing what snakes do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
See, then it shouldn't be one of those things where it is what it is, because people need to be educated. People need to actually know what they're dealing with.
That's what it is. And I'll go back to where we just got into. I wanted to finish what I was saying.
Yeah.
The last scare was that TACO, right? And I was talking to that person, and he goes, "Why the fuck are you so calm? What the fuck do you mean this bill is good?"
All right.
Because regulation is good. Regulation, if you're in it before they regulate, you're grandfathered in.
Right.
Regulation sucks if you're trying to start something, because it's always against somebody like that, small businesses and stuff like that.
Right.
So I guess it is biased for me to say it's regulation is good, but at the same time, I'm not looking at it from an advantage perspective. I'm looking at it from a educational perspective.
Right.
Because if you look at it, well, they're fucking up our entire industry, and our industry is no longer money to be made because they're cutting everything off. Well, I'm a huge advocate. If you work hard, you do the right thing, money comes with it. You know what I'm trying to say? If you're trying to go for the money, and you're trying to search for the money and follow the money, you might run into the wrong door one day, and just like how you gained it all, you might lose it all too. You know, so
twice as quick.
So right. You know, for me, I think the bill was on the right direction because it educates, and that's back to where I cut you off. It's education.
Right.
I have a massive conversation with Chico. Mm-hmm. Chico was actually, and he doesn't know this, it was the first shop I approached when I was bringing, focusing total quality distribution in Central Florida. Mm-hmm. This is our main hub. This is where we want to focus on because, this is where people are not so... There's not so much. As much as it's grown, there's not so much compared to if you were to go down south to Miami, where there's a smoke shop everywhere you fucking go. So when I approached him, it took me a while to gain his trust, but we realized that we trusted each other because on the dull fact that we are in here and we're trying to do what we do because one, we're culturally invested, and two, we care about the products we represent.
I thought it was just somebody trying to sell me some bullshit.
Because he gets it all the time.
Get out my store.
Distribution in general has grown. This industry has grown. Just because of demand, smoke shops are popping up left and right, so therefore more distros need to pop up left and right, and everything is it's great that we're growing.
Right.
So, and I was talking to him too, and I always tell this to all my customers, and I always tell this to family that's involved in this industry as well, that I'm not trying to combat with competition. No matter what industry, if I were to scapegoat this industry and go to another one, guess what I'm going to face? Competition.
Right.
I think my thing is distinguish myself to be different.
Right.
So I'm a different distro. I'm not a distro. Negotiation is negotiation. Business is business. We could talk about anything you want under the sun, and I don't necessarily agree with you or give you what you're looking for from me as a company. What we have to offer. But what you get in with doing business with total quality distribution is a couple of things: efficiency, care, product knowledge, and customer service. So all of those things is what we have to offer, and as well as being competitive with prices. Sometimes we're not the cheapest. We might be a little bit more expensive, but everything is comparable. You know what I'm trying to say? We're not trying to price gouge everything, and it's where it makes it like, hey, dude, I love you, bro. You're a great guy, but I just can't because business, because I understand business. I mean, I got on the phone with him the other day, and it's like I told him, right? I was like, I gotta be better. Because if you're getting customers in here that's saying, hey, you're a tad bit higher, then that's my job. Don't stress about it. Because when I get a price reduction, who's the first person I call? Yo, I just got it lowered down. I got you.
My price goes down.
Boom. His prices go down.
Right.
Business is always going to be business. And he understands it and everybody understands that. But when you mix that and when greed comes along, that's where I just separate myself with other people, because I'm not a greedy person. As long as I have the margins that I need to operate my business the way I'm operating it, and it's cheap enough for him, and it's cheaper enough for my customers, then we're happy. Because the more money, then he decides what he wants to do with that product.
Right.
And how he wants to reach out to his customers. So for me, it's all about understanding this industry. I think this industry just has one of those reputations where I think if people I mean, I sent Commissioner Simpson an email, and I still have it. I copied it and I read the whole thing to him because it was underneath the lines of, hey, everything you're doing, but how about this? If you want to make our industry better for the youth or get it out of the wrong hands, how about doing what barbers do, which is a course, a fast crash course on how to do things and certifications.
Well, that's
and
what I say. They need to have
like
training for
maybe that's a healthy alternative.
If you want to sell hemp, you should have to undergo some fucking China training.
Yeah, or like 80-hour course. Or
you can't cut somebody's hair. You can't just buy clippers at Walmart and cut somebody's hair on the
I want to be a barber.
That's illegal. You know what I'm saying? But you can go on and just open up a store and sell hemp and something that people are going to consume and put into their bodies.
It's like, if I want to be a barber because I found out a barber does a really good, healthy living. Oh, I want to be a barber. Do you know do you even know how to hold the fucking scissors? No, I just heard that they make a shit ton of money. Yeah, it's like, it's scary. It's scary.
Right.
You know, it's scary, and our voice is not along the lines of bashing competitors, because there's competition out there and brands out there that are equally as good.
Right.
Do I represent them? No. Do I know who they are? Yes. Do they know who I am? Probably. But it's a matter of, I can go to sleep at night because the quality that I carry or the products that I carry, I know where they come from, I know where they arise, I know how they're done, I know what the intentions of those products were, and I can hold a conversation with that person across the table and be in agreement, and we have the same mind. So It's called vetting what I represent.
Right.
And I think that distinguishes me a lot, differentiates me a lot from other distros, you know?
Right.
And gained a lot of the faith of my customers. I have very loyal customers. I have very loyal customers that, you know, just to give you an example, Smacked has been out with products for a little bit now, and it's coming in a little bit more, but I have people that, you know, when you're going a month or a month and a half without a product, they'd be quick to say, yo, I switched it out. I'm sorry. I'm going to drop you. And business is business. Business is business. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. But I got customers of mine that be like, yo, don't worry. When that comes in, lock me in. Lock me in because I'm doing business with you. Right. And I trust that product. Right. And I know that product, and I incentivize my customers. There's certain things that I do as an owner of my customer, because if they're successful, like Chico said, I'm successful.
Right.
You know? But it's not only if they're successful. If I give them a product that's convertible, that means they're going to want more from me, and they're going to want other stuff. It's like, what else you got? You know, there's a product that we represent called Boner Bears that, you know, he slings the crap out of them. Where other stores have them, but they're just there. But he slings the crap out of them.
What are those?
They're male enhancements. They're using natural.
I saw those on your site.
Yeah,
okay, I know what you're talking about.
So they're
back, man. Don't play with yourself.
Yeah. So it's things like that it's like, hey, I care about what I do.
Right.
You know, and when you get bigger, you kind of tend to lose yourself a little bit, because you might have other things that you need to do, more things that are more important. But for me, is incentivizing our customers so that they're successful with the product. Right. You know, another thing I do for my customers is, if you have a product and you have success with it, I guarantee you that we will not sell to another store in a 10-mile radius from you.
Right.
So that guarantees that customer, if they happen to like it, because customers are gonna shop. You know, we're all victims of it. Like, when you see something on in Walmart, you'll be like, ah, fuck that, I can get that on Amazon for like $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
Right? So if they turn around and do that to him all the time. They got a gas station right up the road, and they'll come in and they'll be like, well, the gas station down there is $3 cheaper. Well, then fuck. You know, then he has to drop that line. You know what I'm saying? So he has to drop that line.
Right.
So, you know, if they're comfortable and they can know that they don't have to worry about something like that and coming towards their way, I think that goes a long way. So loyalty from my customers, it's great. I'm very grateful for it. It's not expected by any means. I'm very grateful for it, but it's definitely something of why they do business with Total Quality Distribution. That's for sure. So,
right.
Yeah, this industry, man, it's a great industry. I love what I do. He loves what he does. He calls me and we're talking. He's like, man, but I just really like what I do. who can just chill at a smoke shop, you know.
I smoke weed all day. I watch Netflix. I do what I want. Right. I can get to work 30 minutes. Yeah, I bring my PlayStation to work. I bring my dogs to work. You know what I'm saying? I do what the fuck I want.
Right.
And then if I'm late, I don't have to worry about being fired. You know what I'm saying?
Getting the knowledge out there in the community.
And then my customers are so fucking cool. Like, if I'm late, they're like, oh, I came here earlier, you weren't open. And it's like, yeah, man, I had some shit I had to handle or something happened. And they're just like, oh, okay. But they come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're all working people too, man.
Yeah. And they wait for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's that loyalty and that brand recognition and the just the products I carry. And, like, just knowing what I know.
Right.
A lot of my customers tell me, they're like, man, I went to this other shop because you weren't open, or, you know, I'm closed on Sundays. And they're like, man, I went to this other shop and this guy didn't know fuck about shit.
Yeah.
Like, what can you tell me about this? And I'm like, man, I'll tell you everything you need to know. If I don't know it, I will research it and go over it with you right there. Right. We'll learn together.
Oh, we'll call somebody that knows.
Fact.
He called me one day on the phone, and I didn't know, but he had a customer right next to him just to make sure that the customer heard our warranty policy with him.
Right.
So, you know, it's things like that he's going to go the extra mile to make his customer feel, you know,
comfortable. You got to have that confidence. That level of comfort with that customer.
And you're not going to get that anywhere. I'm telling you, man. I would go as far as, you know, challenging people that watch this podcast to, you know, if they have some downtime, you know, and they live in the area of Lakeland, just go up South Florida Avenue from south to north. Just one day, just all the way where that Mulberry, where that Walmart is, then down Mulberry, and just skyrockets. Just go and just stop at every smoke shop, because you'll see them like a zigzag, and you'll see them a block away from each other. You might get somebody that'll say, hey, how are you? Welcome to X smoke shop. How can I help you? You might not. You might get someone that'd be all the way on the back on their phone, and if you don't say anything to them, they won't say anything to you. And they'll see you just walk out the door.
Right.
You'll see some people that don't speak a lick of English, and just keep repeating THC, THC, THC. You'll get another shop owner that'll probably be like, no, you don't need this. You need this. Knowing that one is more harmful than the other. Knowing that, you know? Like, I have an unconventional way of doing sales. My first question is, you know, some people are like, you know, when you approach a new shop, they're like, oh, yeah, send me a catalog. We'll see the whole thing. Instead of sending you the entire thing I can give you, you know, from hookah pipes, you know, hand pipes, water pipes, Delta products, rolling paper, hand paper, you know, the list goes on and on and on. I always ask them, what do you predominantly sell? Like, what are your strengths? Because every demographic is different. And then when I hear that, I can give you a more, you know, not eyesore of a list of options that I can either give you as an alternative, or if you're curious, get you a quote out there for you and just give you, you know.
I'm not wasting my time looking at fucking nonsense.
Yeah, right. So it's like, you know, it's one of those things where I think people just need to know that this industry is a great alternative. It's a great alternative. It works. You know, there's products for everything someone's looking there. Right. There's not only products out there for that, there's dosages out there. We have products that range from anywhere from 15 milligrams all the way to 300 milligrams. Okay. You know, where like,
that's not for everybody.
Yeah, like sometimes people come up and they'll ask me, like friends of mine, be like, "Well, I got this. I got insomnia. What do you got for me?" I'm like, "Well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for knocking the fuck out and waking up drowsy tomorrow? I got that. Here's 300 milligrams of sour belts or something like that, you know?"
Right.
Or you got another person that's like, "Hey, listen, I got, you know, I just came out of surgery, never wanted to do any marijuana in my life. I'm new to this, but I've realized and I've done research that this isn't a healthy alternative." Okay, well, have you been introduced to full spectrum CBD? You know, like have you been introduced to that? Because that gives you the pros of everything you're looking for, and everything you don't want, it also gives you. You know, you got people that be like, "Oh, I just want to get fucked up." You know, I laugh at the people that say, "Nah, man, I do that real shit. I don't do no freaking hemp shit. That's the fake shit." No, it's not. No, it's not. Put 3,000 milligrams to the face. Right. You know, like no, it's not. Take the whole thing to the face, and you'll gain a whole different respect to the industry. So there's something for everybody. I think that's the problem that I had with the bill. I really had a problem with that bill because it was literally taking the heart of the industry and giving just options to people.
Right.
Just options. So yeah, this industry is a beautiful industry to be in. But at the same time, there's a lot of ignorance out there, and ignorance is bliss. So, so we just try to educate and outreach. That's why I talked to him, and I have nothing to do with the shop. I have zero to do with the shop. Right. I'm the owner of Total Quality Distribution. He's the owner of his shop. But we talk. It's like, yo, can we do a promotion? Like, can I help you out with anything? Can we do something? How can we get more people in? Because we know if we can get people in his shop, he can educate. And education, people like education.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my buddy who does the medical marijuana clinic, Mary JMD. My homegirl Missy and her daughter Zoe, they're fucking awesome.
Right.
Because if I have a customer that's curious about their medical card or anything like that, by me networking and dealing with so many people, I'm able to call her and say, hey, I can call her on personal phone and get you an appointment right then and there. And get you in there if you're really serious and shit like that. And I see sometimes I get vets that come in, or I have disabled people that really just need help. Yeah. And so I'll go on and I'll give them a card, but instead of just giving them a card and sending them out the door, I'll actually sit there and make the phone call with them, help them book their appointments so that they can get that help. And I get nothing in no financial kickbacks, no shit like that. I get nothing but friendship in return. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I make a new friend with that customer, and I also help out a friend of mine with her business. Right. And then that customer, go get their medical card, and then they'll go hit the dispensary, and then they'll come back. And they'll be like, man, I appreciate you helping me so much. This really, really helped me out. And whether they buy something or not, it still makes me happy to feel that I've accomplished and helped somebody, with their problem without going to a pharmaceutical person, getting pharmaceuticals, going to see that pharmacist and getting all those pills and waiting in line and paying that high price for pills and, degrading their body and tearing up your liver and, different stuff. Because a lot of those medications that they give you are just fucking detrimental.
Most of them are, because with big pharma, when it comes to them, for everything that it's supposed to cure, it gives you an alternative. Yeah, it gives you a symptom that's just like bullcrap. Yeah, the side effect.
You got a headache. Now you take this pill.
Now you got massive diarrhea for 3 days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This poop hardening pill, but the poop hardening pill makes you get your blood blisters.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So now you gotta do it.
It's ridiculous. A whole bunch of extra.
Fuck, dog.
Nah, I definitely, dog. I definitely appreciate the love that both of you guys have for your industry, the passion behind it. That right there, it's really hard to come across people that genuinely love what they do. It's facts, and it's one of those things where they say when you love what you do, it's not really work.
Right. Yep.
And I can really tell that that's what this is for y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta make your vocation your vacation, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Your vacation, your vocation, same thing.
Facts.
Vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Every day, I don't feel like I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I gotta get my ass up to go to work, but I don't feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm leaving my living room and going to my other living room.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel that.
I turn off Netflix, Hulu, or I watch a lot of Cops. I'll cut Cops off. Yeah, I'll sit there armchair quarterback all day. Don't answer that. And it's bad because my dad's a cop too, so I know all that shit. I grew up with canines and shit like that. No, he's over. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stitch ass fucking dog. No, make your fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I leave one living room and go to another living room and just hang out. Yeah. And then I just feel like I don't have customers. I have guests that just stop by.
Facts, man.
My store door is like my front door at my house. Y'all just walk in. Yeah, the house warming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, every day. People just walk in. Hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What's up? We're just kicking it.
Dog, that's magic, man. That's magic.
That's how we try to do, man.
Yeah, facts.
Like that. I got customers that bring me food. Like he said, get a plate. I got customers who bring me food.
Yeah.
I got customers who just leave stuff in my tip jar. I've gotten everything, dog.
Right.
I've been tipped in fucking illegal substances. I've looked and they drop something and just look at me and walk out, and I'm like, okay.
Appreciate it.
I gotta pick it up anyway. Just can't leave it on the ground. Yeah. Kids might find it.
It's about the safety. So go sure the quality of this real quick.
Oh man.
So that's just, you know what I'm saying. It's just I try to have the same respect and love that I want somebody to have for me, for my family. So.
All right, so I got one more question, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, really two questions, because one, I kind of want to hear you break down what each one of these do.
I was gonna say I want to hear a rundown.
But I also I have a curiosity. Do you think at some point, if things kind of continue to go good for you guys, do you think at some point they will allow other alternatives such as psychedelics to enter into the field?
We do have something that is a gray area psychedelic right now. We have the Amanita muscaria mushrooms. And
really?
Yes, I sold those.
You never heard of that one?
I know what it is.
I sold them at the store. I have the Amanita muscaria.
But the key word of that is it is not psilocybin.
Right.
Do not use the word psilocybin.
Right.
Because psilocybin is a Schedule I narcotic, and that's illegal.
Correct.
That,
okay.
And then also you can't represent it as a hallucinogenic.
Correct.
Or anything like that.
Even though
it is,
even though it's the right terminology is a psychedelic.
Right.
That's the word that you need to use, because so the Amanita muscaria, you know, and everyone knows the story because everyone listens to Joe Rogan and all that stuff. But every article is the same. Yeah. It is it's the origin story of the Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know, when they found out that the effects were doing certain things to the people that were digesting the urine of the deer, mm-hmm. they saw the benefits. Okay, because I use the word benefits because, you know, and I'm sorry to, you know, make it a little longer, but like. You can see marijuana as a horrible substance, but see, I see it as a relaxing aid, because there's no different from muscle relaxation. It gives you the same effects, mm-hmm. you know. So or recovery. So there's ways. So they found out the benefits to that mushroom in particular. Mm-hmm. But this is where the industry got really savvy. Mm-hmm. They got savvy. They found out that the mushroom in itself is a poisonous mushroom, so therefore it's not an illegal mushroom because it's not a psilocybin mushroom. But what they found out is that the white dots on that mushroom, the musculum, is the psychoactive portion of that mushroom. Everything else is poisonous. That's true. So when you extract that and synthesize it, now you're giving the public a psychoactive alternative. A legal alternative,
except for Louisiana.
So that is revolutionary to our industry, because just like, I don't know if you remember, this industry boomed when CBD dropped. Mm-hmm. Then it freaking rocket shipped up when the Delta products came in, mm-hmm. and now this Amanita muscaria is causing this. You say what? Because if you can give someone a legal alternative to use it, you know, let's not lie. Some people do it because they just want to lay on the couch and see Jesus for once, or I don't know, or they're going to an EDM concert. But other people see it as a spiritual retreat. Mm-hmm. You got issues with your life and you're trying to find the answers. You use that to see if you can hit the fifth dimension somehow and see what your deeper problem is. You know, so. Do I feel like it will introduce the success of this industry? Because your question was our success. Our success is what we make it. Mm-hmm. It's more of the industry's success will open other doors. Mm-hmm. And I think as long as this industry is still the wild, wild west and unregulated, I think that people are very smart people. We're creatures of habit. You know, when one door closes, another door opens. And I think that people will continuously see, you know, healthier alternatives to make, you know, drugs that have been until this day seen as very bad, right, to, hey, it could be okay within moderation.
Right.
Look at DMT. You know, DMT's found in everything.
Exactly. And that's kind of like one of my things.
Tomorrow, you just be doing everything.
Extract DMT from the most hostility root.
Right.
Which is used to make makeup.
Very true. But like that's kind of like one of my things, because I want to know how, like, gentlemen like yourselves can continue to progress forward, rocket ship the industry, while simultaneously working with our lawful employees to make sure that the industry stays as rooted as possible, and that way, even if like psychedelics was to become interjected into that in itself does not lose basically its soul as well. Because like
it's gonna happen because once government and money mix and laws and everything,
the human factor, man.
Yeah, it's greed. It takes away from it. Yeah, look at the cannabis industry. You know, right now the cannabis industry is fucked.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you go, where you're at. Yeah, are things a joke, but the industry as a whole is fucked.
It's just commercialized now.
It's big pharma being inside. Look at Parallel. Parallel owns Move, I believe it is, and when you follow money, Parallel is owned by Wrigley's Chewing Gum. What the fuck does a chewing gum company have to do with marijuana? You know what I'm saying? So when you have more and more people that have bigger pockets wanting to get into it, it's just gonna sour the industry. Yep. Right. You know, how long until for recreational in all 50 states? I was reading one time that the DEA was for it as long as you can buy it from a DEA sourced store. So the DEA would shut down all these dispensaries, open up dispensaries of their own, and you would have to buy it from the DEA.
Look at my cut.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I don't own smoke shops. I don't own a smoke shop. I refuse to own a smoke shop. Am I missing out on a tremendous amount of money? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But I don't want to, because how would I think I would gain more enemies than friends, because it's like, yo, you're selling me product, but you're selling us product, but you're selling it too, and you're making a shit ton of money off of it. So I think it's I don't think, like he said, I don't think ever as if people with the bad intentions and how greedy people realize certain industries, I think it's us today, it could be something else tomorrow. Once they've realized that industry is making that much money as a whole, not in particular, as a whole, it'll get us.
I got another side hustle that I do. I breed dogs. Okay.
What kind?
I breed pits. I breed real deal pits. Okay. I breed box dogs, game dogs. Some people call them fighting dogs, but I don't use my dogs for fighting. Okay. My dogs are used for hunting. I use hunting dogs.
Right. Let's talk about this too.
And the game is so watered down right now with these dogs. The bullies, the exotics, dogs that would have been culled 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, and been called mutts and shit like that, and not been around. People have fucked with the game so much with the greed factor, and oh my god, it's so cute that it's ugly that they want it. It's so ugly it's cute that they want it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You can I can sell you a dog for $3,000, $2,500. Tell you that the dog's gonna hunt, that the dog's gonna do everything. You take the dog out and the dog doesn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with this industry and everything else. It's the money factor, it's the greed factor, like you said, it's the human element. Once all that shit gets into it, everything just gets fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Once it becomes big and mainstream, and the government and big pockets get into it and shit like that, and the wrong people get into the industry that aren't in it for the right reasons. Like, you got people right now running puppy mills and stuff like that, and they're breeding dogs not knowing what they're breeding. You know what I'm saying? They're just breeding a dog with another dog because they like the way it looks, not thinking about the characteristics, the traits, and the lineage of the dog, and how the dog's going to come out.
I know that's true, because you end up with dogs with all type of heart diseases.
Hip dysplasia. My dad breeds dogs for canine agencies, and is a canine trainer and all that stuff. And he does different things. I don't know if he's still doing it and this and that, but I know he's still a cop. He's still fucking dealing with the canines and shit. But I grew up watching him train these dogs and shit like that, and just watching. If the wrong breeder gets into the program selling, canines, you're gonna have a team of watered down dogs that aren't gonna do nothing.
Right.
They're just gonna be house pets. Right. House pets with badges. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same instance with the cannabis industry and the hemp industry and stuff like that. If you get the wrong people in, you're going to have poison, you're going to have stuff that's going to test for heavy metals, stuff that's going to have different levels of pesticides and stuff inside of it, and you're going to be ingesting this shit. So it's the same thing. It's the human element and just getting into it, and once once it's infiltrated by the wrong people, everything goes to shit.
Right.
Look at cars, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of that though, it kind of goes back to what we were saying about like the quality of it, and like actually getting people like yourselves in front of the right people to go ahead and put that block up from the jump, like while it's still possible.
Like I get people all the time. Oh, why don't you breed your dog with my dog? No. Nah.
Yeah.
I have my own dogs, and I have my KPs, like my brother, my kennel partner. We'll go on and we'll breed with our own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's why I was saying I actually legitimately got someone that I could introduce you to.
I'm all for it, man.
He's from Andalusia, Alabama, currently situated out in I think Oklahoma.
Okay.
But like he's the guy that taught me about the dog game. And like he goes back on the bloodline, the traits that come from each bloodline, the top, the bottom, father, mother, the whole history of it. Like he can run it to you like water.
We've got nothing but ADBA dogs.
Facts.
All our dogs are ADBA registered. So you know what I'm saying? I'm heavy into the dog game. I'm more invested into the dog game than I am the smoke shops.
Yeah.
So like I love my dogs. The reason I have a smoke shop is so I can take care of my dogs. If you go in the back of my store, there's pallets of fucking dog food back there. Like there's easily 100 bags of dog food back there. So like I love my dogs. So,
right.
You know, and I equate that to my smoke shop too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love the industry that I'm in. If I didn't love it, there's no way I would wake up every day and feed 17 fucking dogs. You know what I'm saying? I clean cages twice a day. That's 17 fucking cages. Not counting puppies if I have puppies and shit like that.
Right.
There's sometimes I got 30, 40 dogs on the property. So it's like,
man.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, just like the store. Sometimes I got 20, 30 customers at the fucking shop, you know? If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. Everybody get the fuck out. I'm closed. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel that. I feel that.
So you gotta love what you do, dog, and that's the only way you can change anything or have any kind of like any kind of influence on anything on this culture and anything that you want to do. Whether it's being a school teacher, fucking helping people, helping the youth, it doesn't matter. You have to fully believe. If you don't believe wholeheartedly that what you're doing is gonna benefit you or it's what you want to do or anything, you know. You have to believe in it. You have to. If you don't have that, you're not going to make it. You're not going to care. You're just another day for you.
It doesn't help right now. It doesn't help right now. The economy is not doing so well either. You know, and I'm not trying to bring that up. I know that comes out of left field, but it's all correlated. You know, we want people to invest their time into understanding our industry, and sometimes it becomes a shock when they see certain prices. But what I have to say on that is be open, talk about it. With whoever you're getting it from, talk about it. Because I'll give you a perfect example. Smacks came out with the 2-count gummies, 250 milligrams each. And what are you selling them at, like $5?
$5.
So if money's tight and you still need that for X and Y, Z reasons, that's a cheap alternative. You get 500 milligrams. So, you know, I don't think money always should be an excuse. I think that administration of your finances should be more tight, you know, because if you truly feel like this industry is a help to your life, then talk to your smoke shop owner, talk to them, you know, that's.
It's the people too. The customer has to do their part too, because it's not all on us as owners. There's more customers than there are distributors, owners, and retailers.
Yeah,
there's way more customers. So if the customer actually mixed their voice with our voice, it would be better too. You know, get out there, tell your local state representatives and your federal representatives, your presidents, even, you know, tell these people what you want. Make your voice heard. It's we the people.
Thank you.
We the people must come together and stand up together to tell them what we want, what we don't want.
Right.
These people work for us.
Right.
We don't work for them.
Facts.
This is our country. You know what I'm saying? So we have to stand up and tell them what we want and not just be leaded blindly off the cliff.
Right.
Which is what they're basically doing to us. You know, so if people want to keep these cannabinoids and keep this stuff and keep things the the way they are, like you said, be the change. But more importantly, get together. fucking Facebook group. Okay, cool, fine. Meet up in person. Meet up at a Starbucks. Get your voices heard. Let people, organize an event in the community. Show your force. Yeah. Don't just sit behind a keyboard and like just type shit.
And then also
get out there and have action.
Yeah, advocate and then also educate those who don't know.
Right.
Because like your greatest opposition comes from, like you said, people that are ignorant and people fear what they don't know. Yeah. So if you got all these people, whether it's your next door neighbor or your local politician, who's ignorant of the matter, that's why they're pushing against it so hard. But once they get educated, they have a full understanding of it, they're less likely to give you resistance.
And they can understand how that best fits their lifestyle.
Right.
Because, like, I got people that have their medical card and have heavy marijuana users, and they use it more at night.
Right.
To go to sleep.
Yeah,
but during the day, they have anxiety.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they have a stressful life or a stressful job, and they just want to take 2 tokes of a DA product because it's legal. It's legal. Obviously, private companies have their own, rules and regulations, but it's legal, so they feel more comfortable with the fact of, if they buy it, purchase it, take it on their break or whatever. It's a lot less taboo than rolling it up, sparking it up, just going to your car and boom, sticking up the entire place. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. So it's like there are things like, we have all kinds of people. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, we got those people that come in and be like, I don't do that fake shit. That shit's fucking fake. I do the real shit.
Yeah.
That's not how you're supposed to think of it. This is an alternative, depending on how your lifestyle works. So I think it's exactly that. It's how it so fits your life.
Right on. I feel that. Well, my man, it has been a great honor and a pleasure having you guys in here. Do you guys got any tags or anything that y'all want to plug in? And also, if you wanted to go ahead and explain these, you can run through them real quick too.
Well, shit. We got the CBD vape.
Okay.
This is made by TKO, made by his father-in-law's company. It's got 2,000 milligrams inside of it.
Speak up a little bit.
Oh, it's got 2,000 milligrams inside of it. It's a hybrid, you know what I'm saying? It's mango kush. And it's just straight CBD. It's made from a CBD isolate.
Yep.
So you're not going to get the full entourage effect. You're just going to get just the CBD effects, which is like the anti-inflammatory.
Yep.
It'll help with anxiety and stuff like that, And then we have other stuff that will get you like high.
That's the 250 milligrams.
Which ones are these?
These are the exotic blend. That's the
exotic
HHC and CBN.
These are the ones that we have up on the counter, and we have the 2-packs. And dog, when I tell you, I'm a heavy smoker. I smoke every day. My buddy that helps me out from time to time, my dog Zach, he smokes all the time. We ate some of these. Fucking put you down, dog.
Done.
I ate 2 of the 250s for 500 milligrams, dog.
Right.
I went home. TV's watching me. So some people, like you said, when people say, "Oh, the D8 isn't for me," it doesn't. Dog, try it.
Right.
Try it. If it doesn't work for you in that small dose, try a higher dose. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know if you want to get into the rest of them.
Yeah. So, just like gummies, like he had mentioned, you got the CBD on the TKO line. Like he had mentioned, it's not my company. It's my father-in-law and his partner's company. They own a majority of companies that we represent, and we take pride in representing. And they do well for us. I know it might sound to the public that, hey, well, he just, he knows somebody in the family and he's getting family product. No, because that goes to conversing and why they got into it, what's the benefits into it, and him and his partner are huge advocates for this industry. So they're great products. With that being said, we got our disposables with the exotic blend right there. So that's the Fire OG, that's the hybrid, 2,000 milligrams. And then right next to it, we have our D9 option for our customers, our smoke shops, because the funny thing with that D9 is, if anybody's hearing us and you guys might be thinking, is like, didn't you guys just say D9 is illegal? Well, they found out that hemp derived Delta 9, if you place it, it's 0.3% under of THC, but if you notice, those gummies are bigger. So if you increase the volume size, the more D9 you could put into it, the better the quality it will be, and the more I think that product, in my opinion, and this is not, you might have a different, but that product for me is the closest thing to the effects of marijuana.
Okay.
Because it's pure, it's not cut, there's no CBD. Other brands cut it with CBD isolate, they'll put a little bit more. That is 25 milligrams of pure Delta 9, hemp derived Delta 9. Edible. So, and then right next to that, we have our tinctures. That is a tincture isolate, but we also offer it in full spectrum. That has a great following with the older demographics.
What's the purpose of tinctures?
Drop it on your tongue.
Yeah, you could drop it on your tongue. You could drop it on your coffee. It's an oil-based alternative and option. Yeah,
I used to was into like making like herbal medicine and stuff like that, and a lot of things were made into tinctures and same thing,
mushroom tinctures, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I seen that, I was like, oh dang, that's an old word back in the day. Yeah, tincture.
Yeah, and it has a huge following. We actually have a customer out in Spring Hill Smoke Shop that just got awarded the second best CBD store in Hernando County. Really? And they're huge advocates of TKO, and it was a great part of their success. So, the following with tinctures and CBD products, isolate full spectrums, are more on the older base because, like I said, it's been taboo for their entire life. It was frowned upon. The marijuana users were the hobos on the street. Like, don't do that because you're going to be on the streets, Yeah. So once they heard and they realized, hey, I got joint pain, I want to go play golf. I don't want to be, feeling sluggish. I still want the, medicinal benefits of it. They're huge following for it. They're a
couple drops of it.
Better than dengue.
I have a family member, I ain't gonna say who, an older family member who's really against any like illegal any products, like anything like that. So we were trying to convince her to same thing, like older joints, pain and everything. So just like try some of the CBD, like lotions. Never even try. So you gotta just kind of messed up, sneak it into it, Then one day she's like, I'm having no issues for a long time. I'm like, the lotion you've been using.
Yeah, so all these products we probably represent, like I said, Smack, TKO, Healing Nation, all of those brands are huge advocates for our success. Right. And they're very, very high conversion rates for our customers. They get great feedback, and it's a pleasure to represent them. It's just one of the benefits that I happen to know the owners personally. But it's a product that's nationwide recognized as well. They're all over the United States, and it's a trustworthy, and it's a U.S. made product. So, little things like that is huge for us. Are there other brands out there that we can represent? Absolutely. And do we? Yes, we do. I brought these people in today because it's the product that we have most success with. Right. It's a product that we happen to have most success with, not only from a sale perspective, but from our smoke shop conversion. Right. Their conversion rates with this product is very high. So that's what we look at stuff. When we vet what we're going to bring in, who we're going to represent, why we're going to represent, it's not so much what's trending. Man, I know that remember when cake was trending at one point? That's a trend, Really? That's a trend, So it's like, okay, but is there, just cake because they're affiliated, and Runt, and cookies. You see all knockoffs all the time, knockoffs all the time. And it's like, if you follow the trend, yes, great money. I mean, it's business 101, supply and demand, I get it. But if you know your shit, like him, he called me out one day. I was representing Runts from a D8 perspective, and that ain't Runts. I know Runts. That ain't Runts. Because if you counter somebody, that knows their stuff, you're gonna get a big rude awakening. So, Smack, TKO, Healing Nation, they're great products for us. They've done well for us, and they've done well for our shops as well. So.
Right on. All right. Well, anybody got any closing statements?
I know anything. Shout out to you.
Facebook, come on down, check us out, man. You want to see us down at A6th Street, man? Come on down, 1807 North Florida Avenue in Lakeland. We definitely got you.
Most definitely.
Big red Mustang parked out front. That's how you
open door policy. Open door policy.
Mustang now. I'm there.
All right,
well, man, like I said, dog, it has been a pleasure having both of you gentlemen in here, dog.
Appreciate for your time. I appreciate y'all having us there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a wrap then.
Appreciate